In this video, we're going to go ahead and work on trying to find the answers to these problems here with the practicing identifying key signatures worksheet. Now, when we're going through this section, something to kind of keep in mind is, again, our various hints and tips and tricks. So last time we had talked about some of the tips for doing sharps and the tips for doing flats. For sharps, again, there are really two steps. So step one, look at the last sharp, and then step two, go up a half step. For the flats, really you just look at the second to last flat. Now, in terms of second to last flat, keep in mind that the flats add and accumulate going to the right. So specifically, we have like B flat, E flat, and A flat, again, that are going to the right here, B flat, E flat, A flat. So whenever we're going through B flat, E flat, A flat, we'll keep going to the right. So the last flat that we're adding is this A flat, and then we're going backwards. In terms of practicing identifying, let's go ahead and start here at the bottom. So we have treble clef, F sharp, and C sharp. Again, since this is a sharp key, all you do is you look at the second sharp, and then you go up a half step. So if I start on C sharp and I go up a half step from C sharp, that specifically ends up giving me D. So this would be the key signature for D major. With D major, you have a couple of options, by the way, to abbreviate it. You could go ahead and write the full word out. We also can write MAJ. Also, you could just write a capital M. All of those options work. For the next one, we have bass clef. We have a B flat. Now, for this one, it's quite tricky because we're supposed to look at the second to last flat. In this case, we don't have a second to last flat because we only have one flat. This is one of these exceptions to the trick. Or what you have to do is just remember what the original relationship is, where you start from B flat and you go down 4 letters. That's the original relationship. So B flat, A, G, F. So that would be 4 notes. This would be F major. I'm just going to go ahead and write F with a capital M. Next one. This one's quite tricky. We have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp. Okay? E sharp's a tricky one. Okay? But from here, what we have to do is that, remember, with the sharps, we have 2 steps. We have to go up a half step from E sharp. Now, if you remember, E sharp is the same thing as F. And the reason why is because, again, on the keyboard between E and F, there is no black key. So if I'm starting from E, I end up going to F straight away. And that is the same thing as E sharp. So E sharp and F are the same note. And same sound, just different letters, different name. So from that F, if we go up a half step, what we're getting is that we're getting an F sharp. So this would be F sharp major. Continuing along, we have bass clef here. We have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. Again, for our flats, the trick is to look at the second to last flat. Second to last flat, so G flat's the last one. D flat. D flat would be the second to last one. And then in this last one, we have nothing. And with there being nothing, this would be C major. C major would be the answer there. Now, there's this added challenge, like a bonus challenge here that I've written to try and figure out minor, okay? There's a couple of ways to do this. And one of the things that's really going to be important with minor is our understanding of inversion. Now, if you feel like you don't need to really know about this, that's perfectly fine. If you would like to deal with this challenge, I'm going to go ahead and talk about how this works here. So last time we talked about this idea, which is inversion, where you flip things over. Now, whenever it comes to specifically intervals and trying to invert intervals, anytime that you invert it, not only are you flipping over the note, but you're also flipping over the quality of the inversion or the interval itself. So for example, the opposite of major is minor. Fourths and fifths we oftentimes refer to as perfect intervals for a variety of reasons. First of all, they show up in both of the scales, which is really, really nice. They were used also as holy intervals back in the day for a very long time. We, of course, whenever we flip one or the other, we consider them perfect. They aren't major, nor are they minor. Now, with major and the minor scale, one of the things is that those two are complete opposites. And I'll show you how that makes sense if I were to go from like C to E, for instance. So again, E shows up in C major. This is what we call a major third. if I were to go ahead and flip this over, so from C down to, let's say, A for a second. So again, I'm going down 3 letters this time. Funny enough, again, intervals are based off of the bottom, whatever the bottom note is. So because A is now the bottom, in the key of A major, we usually have a C sharp. We don't have C. But in the key of A minor, we do have a C. So that all of a sudden, that distance is a minor third here. So that kind of flips over, which is kind of interesting, that distance. Never mind. I'm not going to